concludes all operations of the emergency alert system. All stations may now resume regular programming.
For expanding its sphere of influence on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy.
And just keep in mind, this is a global plan. They want everyone, every nation to do these things. And that's why it's important to keep up with the developments of this technocratic system throughout the entire world. They want to install these same policies here. So I believe this is from the Global Cities Group. And of course, this policy paper revolves around the future of urban consumption. So in their little PDF files, they have a few very, very interesting things here. By 2030, zero private car ownership. Okay. By 2030, they want you to consume no meat or dairy. Okay. Well, shit, that's not gonna happen. But that's not all. They even have it listed here that they want to restrict people to buying 3 new pieces of clothes a year. But yeah, there's probably going to be some pushback from the fashionistas. Anyway, yes, this is a snapshot of the dystopian future planned for you by councils and cities all signed up to the Great Net Zero Con. Yeah, the people in charge want to determine what you can and will eat, how many items of clothes you are allowed to buy in a year. Allowed. That bothers me. I mean, dude, you're not going to tell me to do shit. Anyway, all of it is supposed to be decided for you by them. Now, okay, just to talk about the restrictions on how many clothes you can buy or own. Well, the World Economic Forum released a video detailing their plan for tracking your clothes. You know, so they can keep track of what you own and make sure you can turn it in when you are done. Digital ID for clothes. And yeah, so to return it when you are done. Yeah, it's called a circular economy. This is their grand plan. Rent everything. Check this out. Now here's the thing, once you're forced into digital ID in order to access health and travel, and being forced into using CBDCs because that's how you will be paid, And well, that's when they're going to be able to implement all of this. The digital ID and the CBDC are key aspects to their entire agenda. Avoid those and you avoid this technocratic system. Avoid those and you avoid a lot of the surveillance. Avoid those and you avoid the control. Now, if you haven't checked out my video entitled The Plan to Subjugate the World, now, not to, selflessly pitch myself, but you might want to. It all revolves around those two aspects, digital ID and CBDCs. Now from there, the House of Lords has issued a paper laying out how you will be forced to follow the agenda, and it's going to be done by legislation to change your behavior. First is the nudge, and then, well, here comes the stick. On page 4, and I quote, "Lessons can be learned from both successful and unsuccessful behavior change interventions in other policy areas, most notably the widespread behavior change brought about by COVID-19. Well, damn. Okay. And speaking of behavioral modification, let's talk about climate lockdowns in Oxfordshire. Imagine your power-mad politicians like COVID lockdowns so much that they wanted to continue them indefinitely. Well, this is going to be trialed in Oxfordshire in Britain. And I quote again, Oxfordshire County Council passes climate lockdowns trial to begin in 2024. So basically, they approve plans to lock residents into one of 6 zones to save the planet from global warming. And of course, we've actually talked about this before. This is the latest stage in the 15-minute city agenda. And they're going to place electronic gates on key roads in and out of the city, confining residents to their own neighborhoods. How insane is that? And I quote again, under the new schemes, if residents want to leave their zone, they will need permission from the council, who gets to decide who is worthy of freedom and who is not. Under this new tyrannical law, residents will only be allowed to leave their zone for a maximum of 100 days per year. However, to gain entry again, every resident will have to register their card details with the council, who will then track their movements via smart cameras around the city. Holy shit. I mean, this is like East Berlin. So again, let me try to get this straight. They want to divide the city into 6 different districts, with drivers unable to cross between zones without being fined. And you can only leave your zone, your neighborhood, for a maximum of 100 days per year. However, you're going to need permission to leave the gates. Yeah, you're in a prison, dude. So much for freedom of movement. So much for freedom. And I mean, come on, this is insane. And really, this is kind of worse than China right now. And really, they've been taking a lot of notes from China. I distinctly remember coming across this story quite a while ago. The UK implementing Chinese-style surveillance tech throughout their entire nation.
It includes all operations of the emergency alert system. All stations may now resume regular programming.
For expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy.